welcome to our virtual worship service for the Unitarian Universalist Meeting House of Provincetown. It is May now. That means that we have been worshiping at home for well over a month. It also means that we have made it through the cruelest month on Cape Cod. We are well and truly into spring now. I find the Cape to be about 2 weeks behind the mainland, but my snow peas are up and my tulips are about to unfurl. And whenever we get a day of sunlight, it is like a balm for my soul. I am so grateful that the days are warming and lengthening. I'm grateful that we can go outside, and I'm also grateful that we can continue to gather in this way online, that we can still be a community, even in this new way of being. Right now, I'm going to light my chalice, a symbol of our faith, and I invite you to light a candle wherever you are. That is one way for us to feel connected to each other.
This is Loretta.
And I'm Susan, and
we're lighting our candle in Provincetown.
Diane, lighting a candle in Provincetown.
Hello everyone, this is David.
And Richard.
And we are lighting a candle in lovely Sarasota,
Florida.
Be safe, everyone.
Love and hugs.
please join us in affirming our covenant. Love is the spirit of this meeting house. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Spirit of life, come to me, sing in my heart all stirrings of compassion, blow in the winds, rise in the sea, move in the shape of justice, roots holy cause, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Surrender to This Life by Gretchen Haley. Give up the fight for some other moment, for some other life than here and now. Give up the longing for some other world, the wishing for other choices to make, other songs to sing, other bodies, other ages, other countries, other stakes. Purge the past. Forgive the future, for each come too soon. Surrender only to this life, this day, this hour, not because it does not constantly break your heart, but because it also beckons with beauty, startles with delight. If only we keep waking up. This is the gift we have been given. These body clothes, this heartbreak, this pulse of breath, this light, these friends, this hope. Here we remember ourselves, all a part of it all, giving thanks together. Come, let us worship. Our reading this morning is entitled, "It Is Enough" by Dana Falds. It is enough right now to taste one moment of peace. Of course I want more, but at least the door is open. It is enough to draw a conscious breath and let my hands relax, fingers releasing their tight grasp on things outside of my control. It is enough to shed a layer of stress as if taking off a jacket or a pair of too tight shoes. Ease of being has to start somewhere. This breath is my first step. Today I want to tell you the story of a very important rooster. Once upon a time, there was a rooster, a very, very proud rooster. He was very, very proud because he had a very, very important job. In fact, he had the most important job in the whole world. It was his job to get up every morning and wake up the sun. Every morning since as long ago as he could remember, he got up while it was still dark and he began shouting just as loud as he could. And do you know what he shouted? Cock-a-doodle-doo! 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 And the rooster kept on shouting until he saw the sun slowly start to open its giant eye. It was just a gleaming sliver at first, but before long the sun was wide awake and started slowly making its way across the sky. So the rooster was very, very proud, for he knew that if it weren't for his crowing, there would be no sunlight to grow the grass to feed the cows that the farmer depends on for milk and cheese. And if it weren't for the milk and cheese, the farmer would go hungry, and he wouldn't have the strength to come and scatter the grain for the rooster and all the other barnyard animals to eat. That's why he was so very, very proud of himself, and why, even though the sun was already awake, he sometimes strutted around the farm, crowing just for fun. Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. In fact, one particular bright sunny day, the rooster saw the cows eating the sweet grass, the farmer making cheese, and all the other farmyard animals enjoying their delicious grain, and he felt so very, very proud that he started crowing and couldn't stop. Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. He crowed and crowed without noticing it until his cock-a-doodle-doo grew softer and softer until he completely lost his voice. Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Yes, the very proud rooster had crowed so long and so loud that he developed laryngitis. And just as he found himself without a voice, the sun started going down, and he began worrying about what would happen if his voice didn't return before morning. How would the grass grow? How would the cows eat? How would the farmer get his milk and cheese? Who would feed the barnyard animals? So he decided to give his voice a rest and not make another sound until morning, and to hope it would return. But he was so worried about not being able to wake up the sun that he didn't get much sleep. And when morning came, he went out into the barnyard and climbed atop his usual fence post, opened his beak, and tried to crow. But he still couldn't make a sound. He tried as hard as he could, but nothing happened. He thought about all the terrible things that would happen without the sunrise. He worried about the grass, the cows, the farmer, and all his other farmyard friends. But then, all of a sudden, just like every other morning, the sun began to open its giant eye. It was just a gleaming sliver at first, but before long the sun was wide awake and started slowly making its way across the sky. At first, the rooster was very, very happy to see the sun, but after a short while, he wondered if maybe it isn't all his crowing that makes the sun rise after all. The thought made him very, very sad, because he realized that he wasn't that important after all. But even though the sun had risen, it did seem that there was something different about this day than any other. He saw the grass, but no cows, and no farmer, and none of the other barnyard animals. And he thought to himself, if the cows don't wake up and eat the grass, and the farmer doesn't wake up and milk the cows and feed grain to all the other barnyard animals, everyone in the whole wide world will starve to death. So the rooster climbed back onto the fence post and started crowing louder than he had ever crowed before in his entire life. Cock-a-doodle-doo! 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 And before long, he saw the cows come out to eat the grass, and the farmer come to milk the cows, and to feed the grain to all the other animals. And the rooster was very, very proud because he knew he had a very, very important job. Some things are in our control. Some things are out of our control. This time of staying home has really upended all the things we thought we were in control of in our lives. Like the rooster, we are disappointed to learn that it is not in our power to make the sun rise. We may become depressed that so much is outside of our control, and the role that we thought we were playing is not the role that we are actually playing in this world. But if we look around, we can see the influence and power that we do have and realize that those things are important too. We don't control the world, but what is it that is in your power today? And how do you want to use that power? Just a reminder that when we are feeling powerless, we often want to use what little control we do have to direct others, sometimes to criticize others. We can also fixate on the things we feel we have control over, because we feel so powerless about other things. I know that I have found myself getting kind of obsessed with the small details, and when I take a step back, I see that that is because there is so much that is outside of my control right now. I want to hold tightly in my fists anything that I feel is mine or that I know is true. These are natural responses to the stress of realizing that we do not have control over the big things, like the sun rising, or the presence of a virus, or the future of our economy, or even our own bank accounts. It's a natural response to the stress of so much being unknown. But it's helpful to take a step back and list the things that are in our control, to name the choices that we do have and the things that we can accomplish. It's helpful to reflect on how we want to be in the world, and to know that our presence influences the world just by how we show up in it. What kind of presence do you want to be today? What kind of gifts do you want to share? What kind of comfort do you want to be? Sometimes, like the rooster, we'll want to be part of giving a wake-up call to the world. How can we best do that? How can the most people hear us, truly hear us? Is it through volume? Is it through shame? Is it through example? Is it through gratitude? Through creativity? Or positivity? Or honesty? Or vulnerability, maybe? We won't all answer this question in the same way. We are all different roosters. Our spheres of influence are all different too. But none of us makes the sun rise. It's hard to remember, but it's a relief too. We do not have control of all things. That is a challenge and a comfort. It's something that we need to come to terms with each and every day. If you know this one, Feel free to repeat along with me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. A little Reinhold Niebuhr for you this morning, and a little farmyard wisdom too. I hope they help. Until next week, Amen, and blessed be.